The convention center was a buzz over those 3 days. Incredible crowds, very well received, and I think everyone at AAA East Central, on behalf of all of us who love travel, love the brand, deserves a nice round of applause. Job well done, Caitlin.
Absolutely. It was such an amazing show. I think every year it keeps getting bigger and bigger. We have the more travel agents on the floor, more sales, more vendors, more discounts and promotions, more amazing destinations featured. So it was really, really cool. It was such a whirlwind of a weekend, those 3 days, but it was amazing seeing so many people come out looking for their trips, a lot of engagement in our vendor presentations, whether it be about the destinations or the vendors themselves, really just seeing everyone excited to travel again, better results than last year. We're really, I remember felt like yesterday we were talking about the pandemic, and that's such a distant memory now. Travel is really back and stronger than ever, whether it be cruises or land tours.
Yeah, and they were doing a little bit of everything. But one thing I did know, a lot of people who came in empty-handed left with a whole lot of things, including they were wheeling out some of that luggage, too.
Oh, my gosh. It was flying off the shelves. Yeah, so that was one of the greatest promotions that we do every year at the Pittsburgh Travel Showcases, those luggage giveaways when you book a trip. And I watched so many people walk out with luggage as well with some of their other, the neck pillows for unrolling and identity theft protection. They had the tumblers for making sure that they added people onto their memberships. There were so many giveaways, and it was such a great experience.
Yeah, it was. And, I spent most of the day Friday down there doing a lot of social media stuff and meeting a lot of the vendors. And I also talked to a lot of the people who were down there like me, AAA East Central members, just doing what we do. And it was more than the bucket list trips. It was trips that they do every year, and they come down for the advantages of getting those savings during the event. And a lot of them had to do with the cruising industry, and that river cruising was a big topic of conversation as well, too.
Definitely. We had Viking, we had Alma Waterways, we had Uniworld. We have a lot of our river cruise destinations, and those are such a unique way to travel because the rivers, that's where the cities were formed right around. It's not like some of that ocean cruising that you dock, but the city itself is a half hour away.
Right.
You're right there. You're in the middle of everything. And so it was really neat getting to see people book. And I know a lot of my advisors from the North Hills branch had people that they met last year at the show that came back to book again. So it's really neat to see that repeat business, those people getting excited for their annual trips or stepping out of their comfort zone and knocking something off that bucket list.
Yeah, and everything from Rocky Mountaineer to Amtrak, Alaska, a big ticket too.
Yeah.
Ireland, a massive ticket as always, Italy and beyond. It just was a flavor of travel.
It was amazing just to see, we had some vendors that we don't necessarily always partner with that were there as well. So it was really nice to have some of those other vendors, like Norwegian Cruise Line and CIE, really trusted, reputable brands, but we don't partner with them as closely with AAA. So it was really nice to have those additional brands learn about those additional products, those additional tour options, and really see those things take off as well.
Yeah, and that legend that is Matt Doramo, and of course, Member's Choice, he was on hand as well and did an incredible job.
Matt always is a fantastic presenter. He always is really in-depth. He's a dynamic storyteller. So, you feel like you're at the destination just listening to him talk. It really makes you want to turn around and book that trip, and dozens of people did.
And you know what, also the passport stuff, the membership stuff, all of the things that you guys do every day, people can come down and spend hours and get stuff done that they normally would have to go out to a brick and mortar. We want to see them there,
right,
but it's nice to be able to multitask and get things done.
Absolutely. Having the passport photo booth there, they did hundreds of passport photos over the weekend. You need to make sure that your passport is good more than 6 months when you're going to travel. I just turned mine and I checked my tracking this morning, and it's coming back to me on Monday. I feel bare when I don't have my passport in my possession, so I can't wait to have it back. But it's nice, you need to make sure that before you plan anything, you have at least 6 months on that passport. So it was nice that people could come, get their pictures taken, start working on that renewal so that they can plan that trip and avoid that disappointment.
One of the things that we've talked about, Real ID, and we've been talking about it for years, but now it's May of 2025, and we're literally just months away from that. But I've often made this analogy. You may never have a trip planned, but then all of a sudden one is planned for you. An opportunity once in a lifetime. You have to go from point A to point B. Maybe it's for family reasons or whatever. Everybody, including me, and I'm working on it right now, you need to have a passport.
Right. It's nice to have that passport because you can still fly domestically with it if you don't have that Real ID. Real ID is, of course, still necessary if you're looking to enter some government military facilities. But for flying domestically, you're either going to need that Real ID or you're going to need a passport, even if you're staying within the U.S. So it's nice to make sure that you have it. it's good for 10 years. So, it's worth getting it. It's only $130. So, when you average that out over 10 years, it's a great resource to have.
So as we look further into 2025, and you always kind of get a good barometer of where people are headed by this Pittsburgh Travel Showcase. So what do you think is going to be some of the destinations we're going to be talking a lot about on this show?
Well, it's really incredible because we did see such a wide range of destinations, people really looking to get those bucket list trips. We've seen a lot more of Japan and Asia, even though it's, such that long haul flight. I think people really, we've talked about it in the past. Japan is such an amazing destination. Bermuda is another one that we've seen really, really pick up. We have those cruises out of Baltimore or out of New York that you can have, spend that time, couple days sailing, relaxing, enjoying, and really getting into Bermuda. They have a lot of the smaller ships, so you can get right up into the ports and see they have the pink sand beaches. Really, really beautiful, incredible destination. So Bermuda's been up. Of course, the standbys, Italy, Ireland, Iceland, the big eyes, those have been really, really popular as well.
And I agree with you about Ireland and Italy and obviously London and Paris, but something is happening with Japan to where they're in the same conversation now. It keeps coming up more and more. I've even had family members who've said, oh, my son, my daughter, they're in Japan for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, Japan. And it's because they grew up with technology, and a lot of that technology comes from that part of the world. Obviously, the food is a whole lot different and incredible as well.
Yeah.
And they get to experience a culture. And because of technology, the world continues to get smaller, so they feel very comfortable going there because this is the stuff that many of them have grown up with.
Absolutely. And Japan is still so futuristic. So many of those Asian countries still seem to have that futuristic feel to them. It's really cool, kind of surreal. Like you mentioned, the food is incredible. Of course, a lot of these destinations are also more accessible now because people haven't taken vacations for a few years. So they have that vacation time built up. If you're going to go literally halfway around the world, you maybe want to take more than that week that you would traditionally take in the past. You might want to take 10 days, 2 weeks, even longer if you can, to really get to immerse yourself in the full experience.
When I think of Japan, I just think of Tokyo, and people who have been to Times Square say Tokyo is really the Far East version of Times Square.
Absolutely. It's like Times Square on steroids. It's huge, just bustling.
Lots of neon.
Absolutely. All the neon. There's Shibuya Crossing. It's the busiest pedestrian crossing in the whole world. And you've probably seen it if you're scrolling through social media. You'll see these time-lapse videos, and it's just like ants on a cracker. They all just scatter across, and it is the busiest pedestrian crossing. Something, again, really incredible to just see the volume of people and just how industrialized the society is as well.
As we go to break, we'll come back and get into our itineraries for this week. Bottom line is this. We should always remind you, it's always the right time to get a membership because you get savings all year, spur of the moment, things that come up. The motorist, you get a chance to see it, dream it, plan it, book it, experience. Just talk about why membership is always the right time.
Absolutely. So there's 3 levels of membership, and regardless of what level of membership you choose, you're going to get those member-only discounts, not just on travel, which we always talk about, but also on our notary services, any DMV work, buying or selling a car. If you're looking for, we have auto, home, and life insurance. So really just a lot of amazing discounts. I know a lot of things are we're seeing rate increases with insurance. So it's a great time to kind of shop around, take advantage of your membership and get a quote there. We've got the identity theft protection. We've got our own credit card with no international fees. There's so many different member benefits that you really need to make sure you're taking advantage of the membership and getting one today. And,
one of the things we don't talk enough about, and that's why AAA, their website, is so intricate as far as getting you the locator, all the stuff you need to get to the office nearest you. We talk about a lot of the offices in and around Pittsburgh, but they have offices, AAA, your employer, everywhere.
Absolutely. So AAA is nationwide, of course. There are regional clubs. But if it's something like road service, which AAA is most known for, you're going to be able to get that roadside assistance throughout the U.S. And we also have reciprocity with Canada, as well as actually some international clubs. So if you're looking to travel, you're coming into a branch, getting that international driving permit, make sure you take your AAA membership card with you too, because we have reciprocity with clubs in Japan, in Italy, those places that you might be looking to rent a car and might still need that roadside assistance.
All right, as we go to break, AAA.com radio, AAA.com/radio. Go there. You can read along with us. And if you've ever wanted to go to Switzerland, Austria, and Bavaria during Oktoberfest. Talking about Matt Duramo, Members Choice Vacations. Boy, wait till you hear what we have for you. And remember, it's real simple. 800-354-8761, 800-354-8761. And on that Metropolitan window video screen right now as we stream live is Caitlin Seigan. She, of course, the manager of the North Hills office of AAA. And if you want to see this show in front of your very eyes, go to kdkradio.com and click on KDKA Watch. Back with more of AAA Central's Talking Travel. Rob Pratt and Caitlin Seigan on KDK in a couple of moments.